And now it's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the amazing, the wonderful, ramblin' Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm telling you, I'm doing pretty well. I spent the first part of my morning, a good 30 minutes, searching for my garbage cans. That was...
Searching for them?
Oh, yeah. We had like 25 to 50 mile an hour winds last night. Do you ever have the kind of wind where you're thinking about the structural integrity of your home? Like that's what I was having last night. There were these winds just hammering, and I thought garbage cans are gone. And they were 2 blocks away. I had to drive around this morning looking for them.
You're positive they're yours?
Yeah. Because we have matching garbage cans because my wife is crazy. And I know exactly what they look like. So, yeah, they're ours. But they had no garbage in them. They were full last night. So I'm sorry.
Did the trash people get to them maybe?
No, it was Thursday's garbage day.
Oh, so why were they not at the curb?
No, they were at the house, at the side of the house.
Oh, jeez.
They just blew away. We had big winds. Kelly was like, this morning she wrote to me, she said, well, at least we didn't lose our grill cover. And I thought, well, I'm glad we didn't lose the grill. It was bad. During the Elimination Chamber, I was just listening to the living room creak, and I was thinking, oh, this is bad.
See, I kind of enjoy weather like that. I've said that a few times. My thing is like, I like the kind of weather that is as crazy as possible without causing any damage. Like that's right. What I love. Rain, heavy winds. I don't want the school's ceiling to cave in. I don't want the roof shingles to get taken off. You know, I like the excitement. I just don't want damage.
Right. I want 3 feet of snow, but I don't want lightning to hit the house.
I want 3 feet of snow. I just don't want to drive in it.
Right. I like the weather that makes you happier inside.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But anyway, so last night was a busy night at least for me. I don't know what your night was like. I
bailed on the Grammys, and I'm glad that I did.
Fair enough. I wasn't allowed to until I bailed like an hour early, and I watched most of the pay-per-view. So I'll be honest with you. Here's what I did.
Watching the Grammys, just quickly, did they ever explain why CeeLo Green was dressed up like a bad guy from the Power Rangers?
Because he's CeeLo Green. He was,
okay.
If anything, he looked like the original Goldust. Because CeeLo was trying to look like an Oscar award, and that's actually what Goldust's character was designed to look like in the beginning. Okay. So he was kind of doing a Goldust gimmick. It's just stupid. It's just dumb things trying to go viral. Like, I like when things go viral, like Cash Me Outside. How about that? But I don't like when people try to go viral. So
right. And last night when David Otunga said Cash Me Outside, how about that? I decided I no longer liked it.
Something about him saying it. Yeah, I don't know. And I feel like every time Morrow, as much as I do love Morrow, when he tries to make pop culture references, I'm always like, oh man, nothing sounds less cool than when Morrow tries to make it sound cool.
And he really does reach sometimes, doesn't he?
That he talked about a Nicki Minaj mixtape one time that I haven't even heard, and I'm a Nicki Minaj fan. What is Morrow talking about? Come on.
Come on, Morrow. Well, let's get into the pay-per-view. I think it definitely benefited from my low expectations.
Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. I have to be up at 4 a.m, and I had to watch a lot of the Grammys last night. I did do a little bit of fast forwarding, but here's what I did. So the first match was one of 3 women's matches. I can't even believe one of the women's matches wasn't put to the pre-show, but this is life in 2017. It was Becky Lynch taking on Mickie James. I
opened the show with it.
Yeah, and I started watching the show around like 9:30 my time. You know what? I had thinking to myself, you know what? I can make it. I can watch everything live. And I'm even telling Brittany, I'm like, you know what? I might just be up late. I'll be up till like midnight, 12:30, whatever. I've done worse before. And she made the question, do you even care about this match? And I said, no, I don't. So I fast forwarded through it. I did. I really did. And
there you go.
And I'll be honest with you, during Nikki Bella and Natalya, I had it on in the corner of my eye, but I was doing dishes a little bit. By dishes a little bit, I mean I was focused on the dishes.
I got up. I was doing dishes during that match too.
And then there was still one more women's match to go, the women's title match. Now this one I saw a good bit of because I had it open during the Grammys. I was just never really paying attention to it, but it was up against like some sort of country stuff. And I know you're on a country station. I'm sorry, but I couldn't care less about country music. And
dude, the guy that won Best Country Album, I've never even heard of him before. We don't play him at all.
And the one who won Best Country Performance is an artist we sometimes play, the Pentatonics.
Yeah, we've never played them or that song.
Yeah, so I mean, we didn't play that song, but good for country. Way to go. Way to go. So anyway, I was able to focus on, and that match seemed very good. There were some pretty interesting spots in there, some stuff I was surprised they could pull out, and I fast forwarded through it when I was watching the replay or whatever. But I was really, really surprised and also disappointed. Maybe this is where we can start our discussion. I did not expect the Naomi title win.
I didn't when we did our pre-show, when we did our predictions, but I did during the kickoff show. I had it on and I was listening, and I wished I had been able to change my vote. And here's why. Because they told me two things in the kickoff show that said, oh, she's going to win the title.
What did they say? I didn't catch any of the pre-show.
They mentioned that WrestleMania was in her hometown. And then...
But I would have thought that would make me think she'd win it at WrestleMania.
And then Renee Young said, can you imagine what her WrestleMania entrance would be like if she had the title? And I was like, oh, there it is. They're going to go glow crazy for the WrestleMania entrance in her hometown. And I knew it. And then she won it. And I was like, well, there it is.
So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. And maybe I'm just being cynical. Did she deserve a "You Deserve It" chant?
That was my next note. I feel like the WWE universe is getting a little too loosey-goosey with the "This is awesome" and "You deserve it."
Yeah, I agree. Naomi's not one of those women wrestlers. She's just not. She's not in the same league as Charlotte, as Sasha, as Bayley, even as Becky, or to be honest with you, she's not even in Alexa Bliss's league.
I think Phoenix, Arizona just wanted to do a "You Deserve It" chant to be part of that crowd.
Well, and she's been there for a while, but she does not have any of those moments that, as a wrestling fan, you remember. Like all those girls I mentioned above have those moments for me. I have no memories of Naomi. I even told you on the predictions episode, outside of her entrance, which is already getting stale to me, I don't care about her.
Yeah, I don't know why they gave her the post-match win interview. I don't know why they did any of that with her.
I don't even think Bray got the "You Deserve It" chant. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, if anybody deserved "You Deserve It," it was Bray.
Yeah, I agree. So that was my note about that. I didn't catch that stuff in the pre-show. But I mean, I could see why you'd want to change your mind about that. But
I made a couple notes because I just didn't want to forget certain things. Like I didn't make any notes about the main event because I don't remember what I have no
notes. I didn't take any notes last night
because I don't remember what I want to say. But the other thing for line of the night for me is just how stupid David Otunga is. During the Luke Harper Randy Orton match, which we can discuss that in a minute. He says about Luke Harper being super agile. He says he does things that only cruiserweights could only dream of doing.
He did?
And then he did. He said he does things that cruiserweights can only dream of doing. And then 30 seconds later, Luke Harper does a drop kick and he goes, "That's what I'm talking about." And I was like,
that is, I mean, sometimes I don't pick up on stuff like that, but that is what he's got to go.
The elusive drop kick in the cruiserweight division. You never see those anymore. You're right, Rob.
I mean, it's a shame that, the sliced bread number 2 is being taken by some of the cruiserweights because I could see him doing one of those off a ladder maybe sometimes. Like this is ridiculous. The Harper Con Rana. I mean, that's a terrible call. Let's
the Tope Cone Harper.
So yeah, I think that's a terrible line. You want to talk about that match while we're at it?
Boy, can we say that it's hard to compare any regular match to the Elimination Chamber because I'm going to love those kind of matches. But that was the best match of the night, other than the Elimination Chamber. I thought that was a great match. It really surprised me.
Yeah, I would say it was the best match outside of the Elimination Chamber, but the Chamber, even outside of the stipulation, had some good stuff in it. It wasn't the best Elimination Chamber. You want to go into that? I mean, here, we should probably build to that, I guess.
Well, if we're going to be honest with each other, I'm going to tell you that I missed the first 42 minutes, but I didn't skip any of the women's matches afterwards. My network was goofy, so I had to go live from the minute I started. I couldn't start it over for some reason. So I caught it in the middle of the tag mess.
That's just the only way to describe it. Like they don't make these rules clear whether we're talking about on SmackDown or during the pay-per-view. Now, last night wasn't as bad. I realized what was going on, knew it was, but you don't know how many teams there are. Like it's just a mess. And I don't know, why can't they just put him into a real angle? Like American Alpha is so capable of being in a real angle, but we wouldn't know it from the garbage they've been feeding us. Maybe
now they're going to get into a thing with Usos. It seems like it.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? It wasn't great. You also missed the handicap match too.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
It wasn't very good. Ziggler attacked Kalisto before the match started, but Kalisto, like he was actually pretty cool. The attack was good. He like threw him into the not the Titantron, but like the walkway video screen.
Oh, okay.
And like he damaged the video screen. I don't know if it was legit or not, but it looked really good. And then when Cruz is struggling in the match, Kalisto summons the power of a warrior and is able to hobble to the ring, save the day.
You and I got everything right except for the Bella Schmaz ending and the Naomi win.
What was the official ending of the Bella Schmaz?
Double count out.
That's what I thought it was. Okay. And then which one did you say? Yeah, Naomi. We screwed up too.
But other than that, we got him right. We got it right.
Yeah, we did. I mean, that goes to that's going to just add, I guess, to the terrible score I'm going to levy on this show. But I do have a letter grade lined up. But let's talk about the main event. The main event was certainly a highlight. You had this all new 21st century Elimination Chamber.
Looked good. I thought it looked good.
Yeah, it was a bit more camera friendly in that, they have more spots for the camera to take good shots.
They still blew a couple shots. They blew when Cena was hanging from the cage with AJ Styles. They totally blew that shot.
Yeah, and they had there was the chambers themselves opened a little differently, more like I don't want to say like a DeLorean, but just it opened differently as opposed to like a normal car, more like a DeLorean. Yeah, I don't know. It opened differently, and you had it looked taller to me.
Yeah.
And they had little, I don't know what to call them, but they had windows above the chambers, I think for camera stuff. I'm not sure what those windows were for, but there wasn't chain directly above the chambers. It was the plexiglass or whatever.
Which made for a couple pretty good spots.
And they clearly made the chamber safer for the guys working.
Yeah, they put pads. It was like more pads on the outside of the ring than steel grates.
Yeah, the steel grates, which seemed like the most brutal part of taking a bump on the chamber, was clearly safer than the ring itself. To me,
I'm okay with it. It lent for more spots. You wouldn't have gotten half of those spots that you got if they hadn't put pads out.
While I would still say it was the best match of the night, there were some cringeworthy moments. There were several. Like those triple suplex things.
They did that twice, didn't they?
Yeah, there was I think it was a triple German suplex and a triple superplex.
Yeah, where like AJ Styles got flung by his throat.
Yeah, and while they are fun to watch and spectacular, and when I was younger, I used to eat that stuff up, as a grown-up who's trying to watch as if it were, a real competition, I resent stuff like that, because especially when it happens so frequently.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I know it's like, when would you ever see an Elimination Chamber in a real fight? Like, I get that, but, you still have to use a certain level of psychology. There's a certain level of disbelief that you can eliminate, and that's one thing.
I loved all the entrances. I thought it seemed big time to me. Everybody did a good job with that. I thought Bray Wyatt walking around with the lantern, looking at everybody. I thought that was cool.
Was a good touch.
That was just little things like that I really, really enjoy. And when Corbin got eliminated right away, I was a little irritated. And then it set up a Corbin Dean Ambrose crazy feud for WrestleMania, which I think is going to be great.
Yeah, that could be good. I didn't even think that's where they were going, but that makes sense. Corbin, I mean, he lasted exactly 5 minutes, like 5.5 minutes, because isn't that the duration of the time between the doors opening?
Yeah, and then the time he did it, he looked like a monster. I mean, they're booking him right. He was never going to win it. It's not his time to win it.
And I think you may have mentioned this earlier. I think it was you. His entrance is kind of solid.
Yeah.
It's like he's got the burning city behind him. That's kind of impactful to me. I kind of like it.
The burning city, and I like the touch of, do you notice like the black cloud of nothingness kind of engulfs the city as he's coming down the ring?
Yeah, and I like the spotlights, too, that he walks through. I think his entrance is on point, to be honest with you. He's improving. Right. He's doing all right. Like
he's got the look. He's doing all right in the ring. Yeah, he gets a little bit better on a promo, and we'll be off to the races.
Yeah, like, to be honest with you, this week leading up to Elimination Chamber, I kind of thought he was out of place. And then I see him in the chamber, and he looked like he belonged.
He did look like he belonged, and he looks more like a Wyatt than Randy Orton does at this point, but I'm okay with that too.
You know, it hit me what I think their end goal is for the Wyatt family. And we haven't really discussed this, but it seems apparent to me he is infiltrating the Wyatt family and destroying them from the inside. Like, for example, why are you laughing?
Because they pretty much have been telling us that from the beginning.
What do you mean? Well, when did they told us that?
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I thought you were kidding there. I thought that the whole time.
We haven't talked about it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, go ahead, but they haven't told us that. Like, I mean, I guess it should have been really. I mean, I've thought about it, but it seems very obvious that's what's happening now. Is because he's already gotten Harper out of the family, and like to the point where Harper couldn't go back with Bray at this point to be too weird. And then if Bray's fighting Orton at WrestleMania, whether it be a one-on-one or a fatal four-way or a triple threat or whatever they're planning to do there, once he leaves the family, they're essentially destroyed from the inside.
Yeah.
It could have been his plan all along. He's just, like he's faking it right now. I don't know.
Right. Well, I kind of thought from the beginning that he was always going to turn on Bray, but I didn't think about it as deeply as that point right there.
Well, I mean, that part seemed obvious to me too. But the way it's happened has been very calculated, has been very it's been blueprint. I don't know. It was very cerebral.
It was like an architect.
Yeah, kind of.
That's pretty cool. I
feel like an idiot now. I just feel like I'm the guy who just got in on this angle like way too late.
I just realized that John Cena, I think his whole thing is like never give up. I think I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Let me tell you something. This Shawn Michaels guy has a lot of potential to be a really good wrestler. They should put the strap on him sometime.
At some point they should.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just late to the party. I don't know. I just felt it was worth talking about, and it actually blossomed this week.
I hope they give them their own program too. I was thinking a lot about what we said. It could be a triple threat. It could go
You're right.
a four-way. I'd like Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton to have their match. I think that'll be good.
I agree, and it's going to be urinated all over by John Cena winning the 17th title. And I don't care about that. I resent this because it just means that, you know how I feel about it.
He gave it up so quickly. He's had it for 2 weeks.
I know.
16's not supposed to last 2 weeks.
Exactly. That's the thing. And so they're making it so obvious. And now not only are they going to desecrate the legit 17th win of Cena, but they're also going to desecrate, in my opinion, this Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton feud.
Are you sure that's where they're going with Cena here?
No, but I think.
Yeah, I hope.
Why would they have him win it at a Rumble, lose it 2 weeks later, if their plan wasn't to give it to him the 17th time?
Because I think they want to get him to 17 at some point, but I still think that we're going to see Cena and Taker.
Then why rush it? Why rush it at Elimination Chamber?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any. That's why this is the conversation, that internal monologue you're having right now. That's what I went through during the predictions episode, because I was walking through it. It doesn't make any sense to have Bray win last night unless your plan was to get it off Cena to get that 17 at Mania. That's the only reason why you would have somebody else win. The only reason. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Give Cena a bigger run than that. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, there's so many things you could have done to get Orton into a feud with Bray. I don't know. It's a little. I really, honestly, Jer, I hope they give Cena Undertaker, or I hope they give Cena anything else. I don't want him to win 17 at Mania. I'm cool with SummerSlam, or I'm cool with WrestleMania next year. I'm cool with 34. I don't want it here. I don't.
Here's what they should do. They should have him win it at Money in the Bank. Okay? So he wins it Money in the Bank. He gets number 17. And then whoever wins Money in the Bank cashes it in that night. And then they get it off of him again. And then the next night on Raw or SmackDown Live Tuesday, he wins it back again and he goes to 18. And then he gets 18. And then he loses it the next week. And then the next pay-per-view, he wins it back. And let's get him to 20. Let's get him to 20 here by Survivor Series.
I mean, if we try hard before he retires, we can get him into triple digits. You know? That's my problem. What you just outlined is my exact resentment with this feud.
Yeah, I get it. I hope they keep him off of it. I love this. Bray Wyatt as champion, I think that he can do some pretty cool stuff. And it's up to him to do it now.
No, so, Jerry, I got to cut you off there because he's not really being champion. He's only the prop to get Cena to 17. So,
I hope you're wrong.
So he can't do good stuff this run. He could be a great champion, but this won't be the run. He's a prop this time.
I feel like if he's a prop for anything, he's a prop for Orton to get it.
Dude, remember when... No.
I'm holding out hope. I really feel like this is... Cena's getting Taker. I'm just wishful thinking. You're not off base, but I'm just kind of hoping that they have more sense than that.
Remember like 3 years ago when Wyatt was in this amazing feud with Cena? It was having cage matches and the kids were singing The Whole World in his hands. And that was the time to give Wyatt the strap. He was so ready. And now you saying, yes, does his character have potential to be a great champion? Yes, it absolutely does. Will this be the run? No. And I don't know that he's going to get it back, but he will not be given the opportunity to be a great champion this run. Will you agree? If his job is only to hold the title until WrestleMania, until Cena gets it back, hypothetically, that's the plan.
Okay.
He could not have a great run.
No, because exactly. It's 5 weeks. It's 5 weeks long.
Correct.
Or whatever, 6 weeks long, and you're right. If that's the plan, then he is just a vehicle, and that's a bummer for Bray Wyatt.
Yes,
but I'm hoping they don't do him dirty, Rob.
Listen, I'm a big supporter of Bray Wyatt. I love him. I love his character. I enjoy his matches, and I want him to be champion. I've been wanting it since that Cena feud that got his career kickstarted, in my opinion, Wyatt's career when it was new. Like it was just the time was right. But like Roman Reigns, I feel like they waited.
They waited too long. They almost devalued Bray Wyatt by having him lose every feud he was in, which is why I resent the fact that that's the perfect time for him to take the championship, and he doesn't get it. Then Finn Balor shows up one night on Raw, and he wins.
Exactly. You're speaking right. It's like you're in my head, Jer. It's like you're in my head. So
and it's not to take anything away from Finn Balor, but it's just like, come on, why are some? I just don't understand the thought process with some things. But I'm the same guy sitting here wondering why Jake the Snake Roberts never had a title.
But you know what, Jer? If they've got you thinking that, he's going to hold it for Orton, he's going to hold it for Cena. Maybe they do have you going. Maybe this is good. But I'm telling you, I'm forecasting a triple threat or a 4-way where Cena wins 17 at Mania. And
well, I'll tell you, Luke Harper impressing me and Bray Wyatt having his moment, and some of the spots I saw last night it's helping the grade of this pay-per-view, but that's it.
I'm sorry, what's helping? Say that again, please.
Luke Harper impressing me last night with Randy Orton, that match being better than I expected. Bray Wyatt finally getting his moment and getting the belt. I like the little touch of John Cena not being anywhere near the final two.
Okay, so if I could counteract what you just said, I want to say that the Orton Harper match was good, but not like you got to go see this good. It's not
it benefited from low expectations, and you know that I've always enjoyed big guy matches more than you. Like I liked the match.
And then I have a hard time calling this Bray's moment. While he did win the title, and I guarantee you he's having a great day, I don't know that I'd call this his moment.
He was almost like a little kid at one point when he rolled onto his back, like he was rolling around with the belt. Like he was overjoyed.
Yeah, and that was probably legitimate, but this is not the moment he deserves.
No, it's not. Not if they do him the way you think they're going
if he makes it through Mania, I will say I was mistaken. I said it about the Rumble. I said it. I'm happy to be wrong. I want to be wrong.
But you've been calling this for a while. You thought that you didn't think they could actually do it with a straight face, but you thought if they took the belt off of Cena this quickly, they're giving him 17 at Mania.
Correct. Yeah.
And this is the new, they're going down that road.
This is the new millennium, man, where it's like, the millennial champions, and Finn Balor wins on his first match, and John Cena holds what was I thinking? It's only 2 months. 2 months is plenty of time for 3 title changes on SmackDown.
It's just like that, but for him to lose 2 weeks in just to get to 17, it's like the equivalent of someone shooting a free throw in a basketball game and missing it on purpose hard so they can get the rebound and get 2 points instead of 1.
Well, sometimes people do that.
They do. They do.
Let's go ahead and do it. I have a letter grade.
I have one too.
All right. Yours is usually higher than mine. Who do you want to go first? I'll let you pick.
I'll go first today. I'll go first because yours won't waver one bit. And I want you to know that mine is complete legit because I think my letter grade is going to surprise you. And I'm probably going to get some crap from people for it. But I like the Elimination Chamber match.
Oh,
and I like the Luke Harper Randy Orton match.
Here we go.
And I think I like the Luke Harper Randy Orton match so much because I was starving for anything. From the minute I turned it on, all I got was
remember
Ascension. I got the Ascension losing.
Remember what you're saying, but go ahead.
I saw the Ascension losing, then I saw a women's match, and then I saw Luke Harper and Randy Orton, which was great.
So what you're saying is you saw a whole bunch of garbage.
And then I saw another match, and it just nothing works for me. I did enjoy
and keep in mind you missed 2 garbage matches.
What are you bracing yourself for? I'm not giving it an A+ today.
I'm ready.
I'm giving it a C-. I'm giving it a C-. I'm giving it a passing grade because of the Elimination Chamber and the Randy Orton match. That's it. That's the only reason. I would give it a D+, but Bray Wyatt won the championship and not John Cena, and I'm okay with it.
So, okay. So C-.
C-. You thought I was giving him a B. I know it.
No, I just you're putting on all this. It's like, I don't know what you just said was like, man, I don't know about that old sock flavored ice cream, but that cherry on top was really good. Because it was all this crap, and then you're happy with the last 2 matches. Like, okay, cool. So I think a C- is an okay grade. That's not too generous. For you, that's consistent, I guess.
You're giving them an F.
Well, I mean, like, I can't think of another show you gave a C- to, so we are in agreement that this was a really bad show.
I think it was a bad show. That's a bad grade. If my kid comes home with a C-, they're not leaving the room.
Well, would you, if they did the Pee Wee football equivalent of that show, would you think they deserve a C-?
Yeah, listen, a D plus. I was thinking D plus, and I gave it a C minus instead.
Okay, so here's what I want to say as I give my letter grade.
Here comes an F. I can feel it in my bones.
An F is pretty tough, but last night's show was rough to go through. So here, let me break this down to you. Here's what the show suffered from. It suffered from a build that I would call abysmal.
2 weeks.
2 weeks is no time to build a pay-per-view. So it wasn't like they crammed 4 weeks of programming into 2 weeks. It was like they didn't even try to build it all, which I kind of understand. That's the situation. Their hands are tied. That's the first thing. That led to really no heat on any of these matches. Okay, so those first 5 matches, and even if we're talking about the heat going into it, the first 6 matches had no heat. There was no, you can make video packages out the wazoo, and they had great video packages last night for something that had 2 weeks to build, 2 episodes of SmackDown, 4 hours. That's essentially 1 Raw to build a pay-per-view. Okay? So through no fault of the guys, the workers, the show had 0 heat. And if you go back, and I don't even think you watched the Alexa Bliss Naomi match.
I did. I did.
Okay, the crowd was asleep. The crowd was silent up until the title change.
And I'm telling you, in the Elimination Chamber, I started getting bored when it was down to the final 3. Not until John Cena got eliminated that I sat up and I was like, oh, here we go.
To be honest, I thought that match was paced really well. Every 5 minutes, you had someone enter, and then like every 5 minutes thereafter, there was like an elimination. I thought it was paced really well. Nothing on the show was you must see. There was a water cooler moment in Bray Wyatt winning his first title.
You had Ellsworth sprinkled throughout.
And I always usually give like a letter grade followed by a secondary letter grade. And my primary letter grade is D. My secondary letter grade is D plus. So
D plus is only 1 or 2.
Yeah,
moves from C minus.
Right, and you give it if C minus is is that your primary or your secondary? Are you?
That's my primary is C minus.
So C minus or C, or wait?
No, it's a C minus or it's a D plus.
Okay, so we're kind of in agreement then that we could agree and say this was a D plus pay-per-view.
I thought it was a sucky show. I don't know why you thought I was going to give it such a good grade.
So well, you start with a C, pal. You start with a C minus. C
plus, C minus, B minus,
A minus,
A minus. This definitely was an A minus show.
So that's what I thought about that. I would say D minus. It doesn't get much worse than that when you think about pay-per-views and just like how much potential these shows have to really put on a great show, to make people talk about it the next day, to have great matches. I just feel like this didn't live up to the potential of a normal pay-per-view.
Do you know why I think that my grading is different than it was during the Attitude Era, and even different than it was 10 years ago? No. My grading's different because I didn't just lose $60. I really truly think that's what it was. Back if I had paid $60 for this pay-per-view, I'd be furious. F plus wouldn't be the grade I'd give. It'd be the words I'd be saying.
Sure, okay. Well,
I'm not paying $60 for this pay-per-view. It's just like free wrestling.
I get what you're saying. And whatever you need to factor in what makes a good show to you is what you need.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, buddy.
I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying you're consistent. That's the thing. And our grading really wasn't that far off. I think a C and a D is a little bit off, but a C minus and a D plus isn't really that off. So
I gave it a D plus.
All right, so then we agree. It's a D plus show. I can agree to a D plus.
It's a C show.
Okay. Well, listen, I have to get myself out of the studio here. I can't believe we talked a half an hour about this garbage show. You ready to sign out, bud?
We'd have been better off talking about my dreams.
I can't. Save it for a future episode.
Save it for a rainy day.
Because I think SmackDown's recap this week could be a little thin. You had a crazy dream, and we'll tell you about that one on Thursday's episode of Post to Post. We have to sign out now because I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We talked about this too much, Rob's like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore.
For myself, the Rob, and my tag team partner, Jerry Valeri, thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow recapping Raw here on Post to Post.